Well, good afternoon, viewers. Today we have a 2017 Cherokee. It's got the 3.2 liter V6. I believe it's a 3.2, and got very sketchy information from the customer. Said his wife was driving the vehicle and it lost power, and the check engine light was flashing, which indicates a misfire. I did a scan, and in history I got a P0305 and a P0205. So 205 is number 5 injector circuit problem, which is down underneath here, and 305 is a misfire on cylinder 5, which could be resulting of an injector wiring problem. Visually looking at the wiring is nearly impossible. The injectors are, the fuel rail is here and here, and you can only see one injector connector right down there, and that's number 3. It's 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. So I thought I'd current ramp the injectors. It's running fine now. So this 25 amp fuse in fuse location 8 is from the ASD relay, but unfortunately that ASD relay is powering up a number of circuits. Let's look at the wiring diagram. So you can see the ASD relay powers up. There's the fuse that I got the jumper on. It powers up ignition coils, 3 circuits into the PCM, and now there is an inline connector, and if I was to get the amp clamp over that inline connector wire in the corner of number 1, but I'll show you where that connector is. The connector is down there, right there. And there's no, it's covered up. The wiring harness is wrapped in loom. This is the ECM here, I take it. So you wonder why technicians just throw parts at these things. It's got 270,000 kilometers on it. I have no history on whether the spark plugs have ever been replaced, or the oil cooler has been replaced. It's had a recent oil change. But to get at the injectors, you got to pull the upper intake plenum off. All of this has to come off, and then you can't run it like that. And there's no convenient spot that I can think of, unless I could find that harness coming out of the TIPM here. Maybe in this harness here, but it depends where that splice is. See this splice here. S342 or 142, I can't read it. So theoretically, if we get on this side of the connector, these are both the same color wire too. Let's blow this up a bit. So it's a brown white wire, comes out of the fuse panel on 2 circuits, both numbered with the same number, F342, because they're from the same source, but one goes to all the injectors, as you can see here, and that goes to pin 1 of that connector. Chrysler no longer numbers the connectors, they label them. This one's inline engine connector, inline engine injector. I'm sure that that's a connector down there because I looked at one of these before. I'm going to take it for a road test and see if it'll act up. Well, it started to misfire, and you can see it's counting misfires on cylinder number 5. It hit 488. Now I don't know if it shut off the injector due to the misfire or if the injector is the problem. And really, realistically, I can't get at the injector to do any significant testing. Let's see what codes it set. Codes menu. Codes. P0205 injector circuit open. I created that ASD code when I pulled the fuse out. And 305 cylinder misfire. So I think I'll discuss this situation with the customer given the mileage. It probably could use a set of spark plugs. I don't know if they've ever been replaced. And I think the only easy thing to do is to put an injector and a coil in it and a set of spark plugs and see what happens. So I've cleared the codes, and we're going to see what codes sets before first, because it's got a dead miss in it now. How come I didn't clear? Clear codes. Yes. Continue. Codes menu. Read codes. Alright. And I'm going to start it. I can feel it shaking. So I'd reset the P0205 code right away. Well, within 5 seconds. So there's a problem with that injector. I wonder if we can get at it to test it. So if you take the air induction system off the throttle body, you can kind of get in there. You can see that injector, the very back down here. You can actually see the 3 coils at the back. Let's see if I can unplug that injector. Test resistance of it. It may go open when it gets hot. So I've got a Noid light connected to it. I'm going to start it up now. It may shut it down when it detects a misfire on the cylinder, but I'm going to start it and run out there quick. It is flashing. It's pretty dim. I don't know if that's normal, but it is blinking. I'm going to try and see if I got a pigtail that'll fit in there so I can check the resistance of that injector. So I got a pigtail plugged into the injector connector, and I got an ohm meter connected across it, and it's over 400 ohms. It's over 40 ohms, sorry. Let's try 4 million. 1,000 ohms. 540 ohms. It's probably spec'd at about 12 ohms or something like that, but definitely it's open. And it should be reading on this range right here, probably 10 to 15 ohms or something like that. So we're going to recommend an injector for sure, but we'll be proactive and throw a set of plugs in it, because you got to pull the intake plenum off to get the fuel rail out. So here's a used fuel rail that I stole the pigtail off of, and that one measures 11.9 ohms. Oh, I bumped the connection. So again, we're going to get an injector and a set of plugs for this thing, and of course all the appropriate gaskets we need. So we got a new Eklund fuel injector, not Reman. upper intake gaskets, and a set of plugs if we need them. So we're going to go ahead and remove the intake manifold, upper plenum. Yeah, let's see if there's any coolant lines running to that throttle body. I don't think so. Okay, let's get started. So there's two 10mm nuts, one here and one here. Remove those. Remove this harness, or this vent hose, PCV hose, from the clips. Disconnect the vacuum line off of here and the purge solenoid off of here. Disconnect the electrical connectors. Then there's a bracket attached here with two 10mm nuts and a bolt down in there that you have to remove. 13mm head. And we should be able to, and of course, disconnect the brake booster vacuum line and this other PCV line. And we should be able to remove the intake now. So as soon as you get the intake off, put some paper towel or rags in the intake ports in case you drop a 10mm socket in there. We're going to try and just remove the back half of this fuel rail, although maybe, yeah, I'm going to try and just, because this is a semi-flexible pipe here, so we might be able to just lift that one injector out, this one here. I'm going to get some compressed air and blow around the intake ports. Put some penetrating fluid in there to lubricate the seals as well. So I was able to pull the fuel rail up. One of the injectors stayed inside there. There's no clips on these injectors, which is odd. But I mean, they really can't go anywhere. And I've got the injector out. Now the O-ring stayed in the manifold. I just picked it out with a pick. There's the new one. We're going to put some grease on the seals, dielectric grease on the seals. And I do have new O-rings for the injector seals on the top that have been disturbed as well. Well, those spark plugs look like the original. They're pretty worn. So I'm putting a set of plugs in them, one at a time. I've changed the front three, and now I'm starting on the back. Make sure you check the boots on each coil as you take it out for signs of carbon tracking inside the boot. This one looks good. I'm going to swap number 5 coil with number 3 just in case there's a problem with this coil, because number 3 coil is easy to get to without pulling the intake plenum off. So there's the plugs all replaced. The torque on the spark plugs is 13 foot-pounds. Don't forget to put this piece of sound dampening insulation in here because you can't get it in after. Change the gaskets. Gonna wipe off the manifold and reassemble it. So we got it back together again. All the connectors plugged in. All the brackets on. Hoses connected. Let's see how it starts. I've cleared the codes out of it. Key on, engine off. Let's see if it starts. Well, that sounds pretty good. It's not missing anymore. But like I said, I did swap number 5 coil with number 3 because if there's a problem with that coil, it's easy to replace number 1 and 3 just by taking this off. So we're going to take it for a road test now. So I just came back from about a 10-kilometer road test. Vehicle runs perfect. Didn't count a single misfire on any cylinder. And no fault code, so we'll call this one fixed for now. 257,010 kilometers on it. Thanks for watching.